How about a good Ryan Dunn story?
Okay. Ryan Dunn, that's one that was one among the craziest things I've ever done was to have. Well, I'll start with where being choked unconscious came from for us. It landed on our radar while filming Jackass, the movie, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this legend of, is it judo or whatever, like martial arts, this guy, Gene LeBell, who's like an Olympian. I think he's the guy the stuntman who Brad Pitt's character was based on, who fought with...
For
Hollywood, for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was recently with Ronda Rousey. She was helping me try to get cauliflower ear, and we were doing this video talking about it. And she said Gene LeBell is he said to her, she quoted him, every REAL fight I ever got in, I won, and at the end of my career, I was broke. Every REEL fight I ever got in, I lost. And now I'm comfortably retired. So it's to say that like his legitimate like Olympics like fighting career like made no money and he won everything and he was this great guy, but it was in stunts that he really got his ass beat on camera and made all the money. So he's this like super like legend character like of Hollywood as well as martial arts. And he was part of Jackass the movie where it was just straight choke us out. Like any like really proficient fighter will know how to choke someone unconscious. Okay. Gene LeBell, no exception. And I never even really heard. I mean, I guess I used to do the hyperventilate thing, and then they would,
on the chest.
And I had some footage of that in my like more fucked up reel.
Okay.
But they lined up like the whole cast. It was fucking remarkable. All of us lined up like in a row, and Gene LeBell just walked down the line, and he was just like. One by one, just systematically and laid us down and then
just dropping him.
And it took no time at all. Like once his arm was around you, it's almost like you were already out.
Really?
And like he just went down like boom, 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 and like we're on the ground and we like wake up like from like being totally unconscious, and it was just like this fucking like it was it took so little time for him to do that it was just shocking and fascinating. And I thought this was like the most incredible thing.
It's like a magic trick.
But Spike Jonze. And rightfully so, given that there was still concern about liability for being easy to imitate, and even if that wasn't the case, Spike Jonze and I think everybody felt that was just straight dark. That was just too dark. So that footage never saw the light of day. However, for having been there, witnessing it, having been choked out, for some fucking reason, Ryan Dunn just felt from that. Equipped to do it himself. So we would be on tour. Ryan just started choking people out.
Just for no reason.
He just started fucking choking people out. And I hated it because we were on tour. I had the Steve-O's Don't Try This at Home tour.
Yes.
And we would get on stage and do all this fucked up shit and just get loaded. And it was a shit show. But like it was kind of it was a little bit legendary, as bad as it was. But we did a world tour. The show was awful, but we were in our heyday, and it was just sex, drugs, and rock and roll, man. It was everything that I wanted to like be from being a Motley Crue fan without having musical ability.
Sure.
And we were doing these shows, and Ryan would say on stage, "Who wants to get choked out?" Like he would bring people up on stage and fucking choke them out. And I'm like, Ryan, no, you can't fucking do that, dude. Like you can't. Like you've got like 1,000 witnesses.
Sure.
Not that like doing bad shit is like less bad if there's not witnesses, but yeah, don't know.
Yeah.
And I would be so uncomfortable with it. I would like leave the stage. I would just be like, I came and fucking deal with it. And I would just be like, almost like mad at him.
Okay.
But in conjunction with this tour, we were filming for my Too Hot for TV. I told you earlier about how I had all this footage that wasn't allowed on TV.
Right.
So I got into the business of distributing Too Hot for TV videos, the Steve-O videos. And we had the first one, and then we had volume 2, the tour. And now we're actually touring internationally. This tour went through like 12 countries. There were 12 countries represented on this DVD. And it was a lot like Groundhog's Day, you know, like filming the same shit over here in this routine. So there just wasn't that much footage, like, to set apart, like, one stop on the tour from the next.
Sure.
And it was starting to weigh on me. Like, fuck, you know, like, what am I doing? Like, where's my footage? I'm light on footage. You know, I need to hit a home run.
a clip. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I need to hit homer. And like, I mean, dude, this is fucked up to say, but this was all in the first 6 months of 2003.
Okay.
And like, I spent a lot of time, even in sobriety, thinking if there was 6 months of my life that I could just live on a loop, because that was the fucking heyday, dude. Like, there was like routinely like 3,000 people in one fucking venue, standing room only, chanting Steve-O, Steve-O.
How crazy is that?
And I was just on drugs, and it was still kind of working, but not really, you know, like,
Yeah.
I was just getting away with it, dude. And I was just it was gnarly. And one day, it was probably my third consecutive day of being awake. And I was just like, finally, you know, and I hated everything about Dunn doing this. But then I woke up the one morning and we got in our little tour van, and I was like, Dunn, choke me out. I was like, Dunn, choke me out. So he chokes me out on camera. And I was unconscious, undeniably. There's no fucking question about it. And it was just like, everyone was just kind of like fucking stoked. And then it was just like, do it again, you know? And so then he did it again. And then it's like, I forget if it was the third or fourth time.
Okay.
I think it was like the third time and the fourth time. I think he just fucking, one time I was on a radio interview in the van while we're driving, and all of a sudden his arm, and that was so, because I'm like kind of claustrophobic, and he just did it without me even being ready for it. I was like, no. And I'm in the middle of the interview, and like, he just drops me, you know, like, I don't know how he determined that, like, he could do that. Because we all had the same experience. I didn't feel like fucking I knew.
Right.
But he was good at it. But he was pretty damn good at it. He got it done.
Dunn was a master of everything.
Yeah, Dunn got it done, man. So, like, progressively, each time it took me longer to wake up.
Oh, wow.
You could tell that it was just getting darker and
Yeah.
darker. And plus, like, our, like, you know, to make each one more satisfying, like, he started, like, not laying me down, you know, when I'm unconscious.
okay.
So I'm standing,
Right.
and then he would just drop me.
Okay.
You know, and so now, like, he's throwing me while I'm unconscious standing up. And the last one, he threw me real bad.
Oh, wow.
He threw me real bad. And, you know, like, and then he realized it, like, I like kind of landed on my head a little bit, and it was just, I landed in just floppy, awful mess. I actually posted this clip on my Instagram, like a little montage of all 6 times.
Oh, wow. Oh, 6 times in one day.
In one day, yeah, I got choked unconscious 6 times.
Probably
in
not
one
good for
day.
your brain.
I know.
And like, he kind of realized it was a bad landing on that last one, and he immediately turned around and he's like, Steve, slapping me, hey buddy, come on, you know, like,
yeah.
and I was like, and I forget what I said. I said, like, he's slapping me, and I kind of come to, and I got all this coke falling out of my nose, and I go, you and me, like, we're forever, or something like that. Like, we're bros forever. Like, it was this kind of like warm, like, heartwarming moment, you know? And I'm like, and I turn to the camera and I spit on the lens, and it's just blood on the lens.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it was fucking heavy, dude. And that was done.
Wow.
Yeah, Dunn did that.
Crazy.
Wow.
And then, like, when I was insufferable, man. Dunn didn't like being around me, and he had no good reason to like being around me. You know, like, I was tough to be around. And not that, like, I'm that easy to be around now, but I'm, like, just so much improved.
Okay.
And, like, it was just, like distinctly, like, I would characterize my relationship with Ryan Dunn as, like, I graded on him. You know, it was just a lot, and he could handle me in small doses. He knew that I got like footage that we needed, but it was just like, all right, enough with the being around. You know? Because Grant, and especially I was on cocaine all the time, so I was just that fucking woodpecker, just pecking away at you, and just
And Ryan Jacoby is by himself somewhere in the corner.
for sure.
Yeah.
So like 100% makes sense that I did great on him. It's easy to figure out why, and I was so tough to be around because I was always so fucking loaded, and the less sleep I had, and the more cocaine, the worse it was. So it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough. And then when I got sober in 2008, and I was sober for the Jackass 3D movie, like then all of a sudden, like Dunn and I started to have like a more like
Cohesive relationship.
like all of a sudden he was like, man, you know, Steve, not so bad. Like it's like he would even say like, fuck, man, I like you so much better sober. Like, please stay sober.
Yeah.
You know? And I remember one time we were on the set, and I'm sitting there fucking eating like raw broccoli or some shit. You know, I was so like super vegan and super nutrition and jog in the mornings and fucking like health. And it was just crazy different, Steve-O. And he says, how did he say it? He said, dude, here you are. He says, you went from eating crack off of dead hookers to raw broccoli. What the fuck? You know, and it was just like perfect done, you know? And then I remember it was while we were filming Jackass 3D that I started doing stand-up in earnest, you know? I had done stand-up back as far as 2006, and I was all fucked up, and it was just like I bombed a couple times, and it was just like I was just too fucked up, and it was just too like weird.
Yeah.
But I had the sense the seed had been planted, and I was like, and then when I got sober, it didn't make any sense at all to go to bars or nightclubs because I just don't belong there. But I had an actual reason to go to comedy clubs because like the primary purpose isn't to get loaded. You're there to watch the show. So if I was with a chick or if I was with friends, that was like a go-to activity.
Oh, okay.
So in early sobriety, I'd find myself going to comedy clubs, and invariably I'd be sitting there looking at that stage thinking, fuck, I should be on that fucking stage. Fuck, I'm just being a pussy. Like, fuck, I should do
Really?
it.
You had that
1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
Right, and I ended up, like, the first interview I did for Jackass 3D, which was way before it even came out. Like, it was like this, they were cycling people through. And I showed up. It was this young Hollywood thing, and Dane Cook was in there. They said, "Oh, get in there, you know, like just go crash into Dane Cook's interview. It'll be awesome." So I walked in. I met Dane Cook, and I was like, "Oh, dude, you know, I've tried stand-up before, but I really want to dive in, like in seriousness. I want to get into stand-up." And Dane Cook was so fucking cool. He just says like, he's like, "Yeah, sure, man. I'll give you my number. We'll get you up at the Improv like next week."
Wow.
And sure enough, he gave me his number. And I was like, essentially at that point, 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, fuck it. You know, I'm doing this. Like, win, lose, or draw, it's going to happen. So let me get to work and make it not be fucking embarrassing. You know? So I just sat down and fucking started writing jokes. Remember my first joke was like, yeah, I've been sober for, you know, a couple of years. And, you know, like, I've been sober ever since Johnny Knoxville pulled an intervention on me. And you know you've got a fucking problem when your interventionist is Johnny Knoxville. Right. You know? Yeah. And that was like my first joke. And it was a good joke.
Yeah. Like the icebreaker for the crowd. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had this like, you know, I can't even remember what the first set really was, but I remember like practicing at this like little hole in the wall open mic and like to write. I had comics come over like, you know, a couple nights that week and run it by them and help tweak it and practice it. And then sure enough, like on the day that we planned, Dane Cook and I went to the comedy club, and he did his set, and then I did my set, and then he stuck around and watched it and sat down to give me notes.
Okay.
And the first set that I did there, he said, "All right." We sat down. He said, "All right, I'm not sending you back to the drawing board." Which was like, what he meant to say was like,
You have something there.
you have something there. I'm not telling you to go back and start from scratch.
Sure.
Like the material that you just did is, you know, there's something there.
And coming
you know,
from
but
Dane
it's-
Cook.
Yeah, and it's more your delivery. And like, you see, your delivery and like, you're super nervous and like, you got to kind of like, relax a little bit. But it wasn't even just the fact that he took the time to bring me under his wing and like give me that fucking, it put so much wind in my sails. I was like, fucking hey, gung ho. So I like reached out, and that was a Wednesday night. And then next thing I got myself, I'm on at the Laugh Factory that Friday and that Saturday.
Wow.
Damn.
And when I showed up at the Laugh Factory that Friday and Saturday, because when I had done it in 2006, I did one like routine. And then I was like, okay, off for that. And then I was never going to...
You're never going to repeat it.
I never was going to work on it and hone it. And so then when I came back less prepared, I bombed and had this chair. So it's a big regret that I didn't just fucking work on the material.
Right.
And now this time around 2010, I'm like, okay, I'm coming back. There's something here. I'm going to work it. And when I came to the Laugh Factory that Friday night and that Saturday night, Dane Cook happened to be there both times. And he watched my set and gave me notes again.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And so I got into the fucking, I was on fire for it now. So now I'm just fucking, every chance I get, I'm at the comedy club like more nights than not.
Wow.
And in those early, nights, Dunn came to the comedy club to watch me fucking do my thing.
Wow.
And I think he was with Bam. I forget who else, but like it was uncomfortable to be like, like the way with the guys, like, if you're doing something, putting yourself out there, like kind of the guys are going to fuck with you.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was like really like the idea of, I'm going to go do stand up like with the Jackass gang was like really, plus I was like still newly sober.
Yeah.
Like it was just unfucking comfortable, man. Like I just felt really like exposed and vulnerable to those guys.
Sure.
Like, you're fucking,
Yeah.
making fun of me and picking on me. But when Dunn came to watch me do stand up, he told me like thoroughly, genuinely, like, hey dude, fucking like I enjoyed that, man, and I want you to fucking keep doing that, man, because he went out of his way to like vocalize his support, to like be there like a bro, and none of the, not to like put anybody else down, but everybody else would have just jumped on, looked for the opportunity to like fucking pick on me. And I mean they loved me just as much, but they'd just be quicker to make me feel bad about it.
But then picking on you is their way of showing love to you, though, at the same time.
Right. And it's just like that's fucking bitching.
It's amazing.
Like Dunn was like one of the first people to like show me love and get behind me doing stand up.
I love that.